It's garage sale season, so I ventured out today and found a couple of garage sales that had advertised comics. One good, one decent, one with nothing, and then a visit to Streetside Anthony's. I picked up a whole bundle of comic books, including some high-grade Silver Age. Let's take a look up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hello, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. Before we get started, check the description of this video. It has a link to my Instagram, my Whatnot. Both are Bronzeville_comics, and on Whatnot, we do sales Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, there's a link to my eBay store as well as my email if you want to get in touch with me. Just let me know. So I had scoped out some garage sales. It was a Saturday morning. So Friday night, I went through a few different websites and apps and kind of jotted down some websites that were, or some garage sales that looked like they had potential. Nothing looked like a sure thing. And also were kind of geographically close to each other. So where I live, I'm just north of New York City, and I can go out to Long Island and cross a bridge. I can go to New Jersey and Rockland and cross a bridge. So I decided to go out to Long Island, and I found 3 yard sales that looked somewhat promising, and I also wrote down the start times. So one had started at 8 and 2 more at 9. So I said, okay, let me hit up the 8 o'clock one first, and I got up about 7:15 and got there a little bit after 8. There's somebody already digging, but I did still find some great comics, including some for the personal collection, and then some that surprised me. So the advertisement said comics, but there weren't any pictures as I recall. Or no, I think there were. No, there weren't. But I said, it looks somewhat promising. Oftentimes I'll send an email ahead of time saying, what kind of comics do you have? How many? It's not just a table of 7 comics. But they seem to indicate that they had quite a few comics. I forget what the verbiage of the ad was. So there were maybe 6 or 7 long boxes, something like that, set out. And there were a lot of books for over a fairly wide range of times, but it was $2 a piece. Now, in the end, they bundled everything together, and I think I got each book for like $1.46, something like that. So I just grabbed books. I didn't really do, look up a lot of prices. I'm just like, okay, that book, it's worth at least $2. And an X-Men Annual 7 newsstand, right? This one, this Justice League, this is the Giffen, DeMatteis, Maguire run. This is the issue where Batman punches Guy Gardner right in the face. Another X-Men Annual with the homage to Journey into Mystery 83. This Chromium Superman book. Then they had several free comic book days. I took this one, The Boys Herogasm. A lot cheaper than the actual issue of Herogasm. I grabbed pretty much anything that was decent shape bronze. So Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Marvel Team Up. I grabbed this. I think this is a Loot Crate reprint of the first Justice League and Brave and the Bold 28. An X-Men 1, that's in pretty nice shape. A Marvel Now .1. The A cover is the first cover appearance of America Chavez, but the B cover is just, it's a Scotty Young cover. Fortunately, it doesn't have America Chavez, but still, Scotty Young, people love them some Scotty Young, so that's a pretty cool book. This Spider-Woman, I think, I have to see if I need this Teen Titans Go for the PC. Probably do. I don't have a lot of the Teen Titans Go. I should kind of, I went through these books. I did have a chance to kind of go through everything and see there's very little to get graded, which is sometimes one of the things I look for as, I'm looking through books. But at a yard sale, you just kind of grab something that if it looks halfway decent, you figure is worth the money. So I'm just looking up my Teen Titans Go This is volume 2. I have this one. So that'll be, I'll just have that available for sale. Doom 2099, number 1. Not a hugely expensive book, but this is this I'm going to keep. It's a variant cover of Archie meets Batman 66. That's just pretty cool. So that's going to go in the PC pile. This is a pretty nice grade to Captain Marvel 34, First Nitro. 25 center. Can't pass that up for a couple bucks. This fills in a hole in the collection, Justice League Unlimited. There's just one more issue I need to complete that run. I don't know why I don't have it complete. Blood Syndicate number 1, these milestone number 1s. This one, though, is, I was like, wow. This is Justice League Dark number 31 from the New 52, but it is the Mike Allred Batman 66 variant cover. So I've been collecting these. I think there are about 20 of them. Maybe I have 5 or 6. Aaron, one of my buddies, Aaron, has helped me out grabbing a couple. I did get the biggest one. These don't sell a lot. I think there were 1 in 25 variants. The biggest key among all of them is the Justice League, which is the first full appearance of Jessica Cruz as Green Lantern. And I got that all red cover and had it graded, came back a 9.8. This is not a 9.8, but it's still a pretty nice copy. And you can see the members of Justice League Dark, and in the background is like the Otto Preminger version of Mr. Freeze. There were 3 Mr. Freezes back in the TV show. George Sanders, Otto Preminger, and Eli Wallach. I think 1 in each season. So this is that's the one they tended to use in that Batman 66 comic book. So that is definitely going in the PC. I got to put together that. Mighty Crusaders. This is the Archie Heroes as a team. Red Circle published that. This is lower grade. I probably should have left it behind. The Batman movie special. This got real hot when Michael Keaton was reprising his role for the Flash movie. This is pretty beat up. Gwenpool number 1. Gwenpool Strikes Back. Terrifics number 1. This is a book that got hot when James Gunn was announcing that both Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific were going to be in the Superman movie. Will they do the Terrifics? Who knows? I might put this in a spec pile. The Terrifics are kind of a version of the Fantastic Four, where Metamorpho's like the Thing, and you got Phantom Lady here who's like Invisible Woman, and the combination of the brains of Mr. Terrific and the stretchiness of Plastic Man are kind of Reed Richards. So I think the Gwenpool I'm also going to put in a spec pile. Earth 2, number 24. This is the first costume appearance of Val Zod. And I'll throw that in a spec also. We'll wait. See if we get some Val Zod. Ghost Rider, number 39. And then this one is Demon number 16. This is the final issue of the series. And this is a pretty nice copy. I think, let me see, is this... I recently finished this run. Kind of not without even trying. I picked up a collection that had the whole run. I'm like, I'll just keep the whole run. Right? Why not? You know. But now, you know, anytime I see something like that, I look to upgrade. And, yeah, this is probably an upgrade. So I think I'm going to put that in the PC pile. Right? So I got those books. And then I noticed there was another table on the other side of the driveway behind me that had a smaller box of books. It said comics, but the book were like sideways. And I thought they were magazines, but then I turned around and said, oh, there's more comics here. I'm like, okay. And I finished going through the boxes, and I turned, and I guess, I don't know if these two guys were related or knew each other, but they were both set up. And the one guy was the guy that I had bought those Hawkman comics from a few months ago, including the Hawkman 4. Unfortunately, it had a pop-top staple. It was gorgeous otherwise. And the Hawkman 9 with a double cover. Gave me a really great price on that. He had books $2 a piece. Okay. And I pulled a lot of them. I pulled Battlestar Galactica number 1. There was some news of another movie or a TV series of this coming out. That's based on the 70s TV show, you know, the Warren Green, Richard Hatch one. If you're old enough, you know. And then there was a whole pile of Turoks. And I don't mean 90s Turoks. I'm talking 60s Turoks. And these are in high grade. all of these Silver Age books, almost all of them are like 6.5s to 8.5s. You know, and most of them are just, it's like some dirtiness or maybe some foxing, maybe a stacking curl. So I have to, with these gold keys, they don't put the number on the cover. So I usually put a sticker on the bag with the issue number. So it's 33, 31, 26, 29, 28. And like, I mean, look at the, if you can see, look at the spine on this one. I mean, that is real. I mean, you don't see Turoks like this in this high a grade. It's really nice. All of these are kind of, some of them are a little more worn. Most of them have these grease pencil writings, dates, I guess. 30. There was 1 or 2 issues that were duplicates. 37, you see up there, 11.5 up in the corner there. I'm trying to use one hand. Right, but I mean, these are really nice shape. This has a stacking curl. I think it has some dirt on the back. There are a couple that probably could be cleaned into the 9s, but I'm not sure they're really worth doing that. That's some spine wear. 42, 40. You know, these great painted covers. 38. Not all of these have 43. The kind of virgin variant of the cover on the virgin version of the cover on the back. Just about 3 or 4 of them do. A lot of them have ads on the back, which... Then, I also grabbed the first 2 issues of the Mighty Crusaders. Again, those Mighty Comics Group, right? These are all... This number 1 here, number 1, includes the origin of the Shield. The Shield was the character that was the lead in Pep Comics for the first several years of the book, while superheroes were a thing. He was, was he created by Simon Kirby? I think he was. So the Shield was created in January 1940. Pep Comics number 1. He was by Harry Shorten and Irv Novick. He predates Captain America by like a year and a half. So anyway, he headlined Pep Comics. Archie debuted in Pep Comics 22. Eventually took over the title as superhero popularity waned in the mid 40s, and the Black Hood. I'm not familiar with all these characters. These guys have been bounced around over the decades. DC has done a couple of iterations of. The Jaguar is one of them. The Fly, that was created by Jack Kirby. I know that, but it's just the first 2 issues, and these are really nice. You know, these are like in the 7 to 8 range, maybe a little bit better. So I grabbed those. This one has some foxing. It's Marvel Premiere 35, first appearance of 3D Man. You know, for a couple bucks, I'm going to grab some Bronze Age, especially a first appearance. And then there were issues... These are all very nice, too. A Black Hawk, 207, 208, and 209. None of them keys. And then some Rip Hunter, Time Master. Number 3, very early. I think I'm going to keep these. I'm not as huge a fan of Black Hawk. Plus, I mean... I can't complete the Black Hawk run. I can complete the Rip Hunter run. I'm not sure how many issues that was off the top of my head. 26 or something like that. I think there was a bug on my leg. And if you're going to have time travel at all in DCU, you almost have to... 29 issues for Rip Hunter. Have to include him. This is number 9. 3 and 9 are a little bit lower grade, but this 17 is gorgeous. Really, I mean, I just really enjoy just seeing very high grade Silver Age books. You know, period. So that's cool. I think those are going in the PC. And then this one too. This one I was like, and it's not issue number 1, which is a little bit different, which was his own thing, but this is 80-page giant number 8 with Secret Origins. Just has a little bit of a dent down in the corner. Has some staple poking product, you know, a little bit of a reader crease there. This is also really gorgeous. Like the back is white. The spine is very intact. So that is a really strong book. So that's also going in the PC. Listen, I'm putting books in the PC that I paid $1.46 for. That are Silver Age books. So then that was the first yard sale. I went to a second one. Those are all spec books. And then they had more modern books. Not as exciting because there wasn't Silver Age. Wildcats number 1. And it's one of these things psychologically, you get to a yard sale and you're like, I drove all the way out here. I got to get something. That's a decent book. Like, you know, okay, Wildcats 1, it's not going to, you know, pay the rent this month, but Teen Titans 56, First Terror Titans. This one's not a bad book. Deathlock number 1. This is a prestige form at Squarebound. This one is worth more than you would think. It's Robin number 1, the newsstand edition. If it was the second print, then that's a huge book. This is still a nice book. This book, unfortunately, is pretty well water damaged. It was hard to see that, you know, clearly in the bag, you know, as I'm going through quickly. This is Quasar 14 Todd McFarlane cover. So that does have some value and it's nice. A couple copies of X-Force number 4. And then I just picked up a bunch of X-Men. Now this group of books had already been gone through. These are all books like in the 250 to 300 range. I didn't really grab anything because I didn't see any keys that were after 300. But I figured these for, you know, $1.50 a piece, really. Or these were $2. No, these were $1 each. Was that right? Or $2 each. These were all $1. Yeah, this was a different garage sale. It was like 10, 15 minutes away. Like here. Uncanny X-Men 265. Was there 266? No, there was not. So just some nice... Some of these are in really nice shape. Some a little bit weaker. Yeah, I got a couple Newsies mixed in there. Some duplicates. But I was just like any of these. I was just grabbing X-Men for $1. You know, another 265. I mean, originally that box could have had a couple 266s. Who knows? Then I picked up, there were a couple of, again, nothing overly special. A couple issues of DC New Frontier. I really like that miniseries. This might go in my incomplete miniseries box. These might as well. Infinity War 4 and 6. One of these. No, maybe not. I thought it was a newsstand. And then Strife Strike File number 1. This is a book that's interesting that has sold for a little bit of value in a 9.8, but it doesn't move too often. A Night Thrasher number 1 newsstand, his first solo book. And then War of the Realms number 1. It's got a nice wraparound cover. So, again, for $1 a piece, I was there. I figured pick up a few things. I went to, so there was one other sale I had in my notes to check out. And I'm looking, or maybe there were two, but one was further away from home. I would have had to travel further east on Long Island and then come back all the way west to go to Westchester. But there was one that was kind of en route. So I checked that, and there were comics, and I saw the same guy that had been at the first garage sale, and I didn't get anything. It was a lot of Valiant and Image 90 stuff. So I was just, I'm not even going to bother. So I went home, and I stopped on the way home. I said, you know what? Because it was en route as well. I said, let me go to Street Side Anthony's. So I did. And I picked up a few books. This is a PC book. This is Flash 121, is that? Yes. This is the second appearance of the Trickster. So that's a nice book. You know, I'm kind of low-key working on that Flash series. This was really nice. This is Strange Tales 122. You do have Doctor Strange on the cover here. You also have Doc Doom on the cover. It is a pretty nice book. It only has some a bit of a reader's crease here, more towards the bottom of the book than the top. The top is pretty nice. And this is the first full appearance of Nightmare. Nightmare. So that's a cool book. This one, Anthony does this. He throws his books in with a sticker, says free, one per person. I saw another book that was free. So this is the first appearance of Cottonmouth. It is a little bit lower grade. It does have some moisture damage, and it does have a... Where's my finger? Here. It does have a tape pull right there. What I see on the computer screen is like the mirror image of the actual image of what I'm looking at, so I'm like going in the wrong direction. And then a couple, an Amazing Spider-Man. And then another one, First Rose. This is in pretty nice shape. Just short of being a 9.8 contender, I think. Marvel Team Up 37 with Manwolf. Can't go wrong. This one, it's a little bit lower grade, but it is really cool. I couldn't bypass this cover. House of Secrets 91. One issue off, but look at that Neil Adams cover. That is just gorgeous. Like, I like the her in the all white, juxtaposed with the black, the very dark black and dark grays in the background. Just great cover. And then another book I picked up, and I kind of like this type of book. And I looked at this. I was looking at it going, I think this can be improved quite a bit. It's Magilla Gorilla #1 from Gold Key, right? I don't know, maybe what this run, like 7 issues or something. It was based on the animated series, and if you're too young, you're not going to know who the heck Magilla Gorilla is. I actually caught him in reruns. These were on. It ran 10 issues over the course of 4 years. And then there were another 5 issues in a Charlton series in the 70s. And so, it's the thing about this book is it's got a lot of dirt on it. So an eraser will do wonders. But other than there's a little tiny tear kind of right below the cane on the bottom of the edge of the book. Everything else is, I think, cleanable and pressable. And then there is some wear by that bottom staple. But the fact that the cover is all white does give it a lot of cleaning potential. I'm interested to see how this presses up. It doesn't sell often, but I think there's a certain level at which it makes sense to get that book graded, where it's over $100. The thing is, this is one of those books. How often does it sell? And therefore, is it worth getting graded? If you're not going to be able to move it, because there aren't a whole bunch of Magilla Gorilla collectors. You don't see those books on walls at shows. But, I'm kind of do have an interest in kind of these old Dell Gold Key TV movie tie-ins. I'm getting more interested in the TV shows, especially shows I grew up in. I'm really jonesing. I really want an I Dream of Jeannie #1. That's kind of, I saw one at Baltimore this night, and I want one in pretty decent shape, and I want it raw. So I'm kind of specific in what I want. I saw one for $600 at Baltimore, and I'm like, that's a little too far. Even if I could negotiate it down, at best to $500. I decided to spend my money elsewhere that day. But that's kind of a fun thing to do. So there was one more stop I made, and it was on the way home. It was literally like 2 minutes from my house, and they had a whole bunch of books spread out on the table. It was getting warm, and you could see the condensation inside the bags. I'm like, I don't see anything here that's worth me, really jumping at. So I said, you know what? Let me go home and get my kids lunch and plan the rest of my day, and then grade and process these comic books. So that's what I did. So I did have some cool books for the PC. I'm really happy because of the condition of those Silver Age books. Those are so nice. Anybody that's a Turok fan, those are nice Turok books. I do have to put those are going to go aside. I'm building up books. So like when I finish, I'm going to process this by saying, okay, what am I speccing? What am I slabbing? What am I saving? And even what am I selling? I'm putting it as Marvel, Silver Bronze, DC Silver Bronze, other. Is it Western, war, romance, horror, kind of those Gold Key Charlton, all those kinds of books. I just put Archie's go in another pile because I like to do theme nights on Whatnot. I will have a Western night coming up soon. So just if you're interested in any of that sort of stuff, just take a look at my Whatnot. So anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by and taking a look at these funny books with me. You can take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.